the Matthew Amawule group of the House of Assembly to take it easy. The Rivers people deserve peace. They need peace. Nigerians need peace. So the way they are going, I don't think it is supposed to be the way. Giving 48 hours to the governor to represent the budget, 48 hours for the governor to bring list of new commissioners and sack the former commissioners, I want to say it is wrong. And I do not know how people are now selected in this country to become lawmakers. If he had a dent of idea of law, he should have known that even if there is an order of court, if somebody has not been served, that order of court will not start having effect on that person. Now, the issue is, the certified true copy of the said judgment is not even ready. Personally, I was at the Supreme Court yesterday. It's not even ready. It is the certified true copy of that document that everybody will look at. And then even the governor of Rivers State, with his team of lawyers, they will now look at it and see what to do and what not to do. And for purposes of clarity, Section 294 of Nigerian Constitution obliges our justices to up to 7 days after delivering judgment to now bring up certified true copy, or even the judgment itself, to make it available. They have 7 days, pursuant to Section 294 of Nigerian Constitution. And that judgment was delivered last Friday, so there is still time. So one wonders why the Martin Amawele and his group are doing what they are doing. They are being too fast, and they should also note, and it's also important that I state this, as a teacher of the law, that a judge could come and read his judgment, and then he needs to go back and then make some corrections. There could be, we have what we call the slip rule. There could be some errors and so on, correct them, typographical errors and so on. And there are also things that a judge could even say while delivering a judgment which is not supposed to be enforceable. There are things that we call obiter dictum. You know, ordinarily, something that a judge may say kind of by the way, in the course of making a remark, it is not part of the judgment. Somebody hears it and thinks it's part of the judgment. So that judgment, the CTC needs to be gotten and then looked at to be able to know the ones that are to be implemented and the ones that are not to be implemented. After all, the governor of Rivers State has also said that he's going to implement the judgment of the Supreme Court. We have ratio decidendi. These are decisions of court that are enforceable and not obiter dictums. So it is only when this CTC, certified true copy of the judgment, is gotten that it becomes clear. And let me also caution, again, I prefer to use the word caution instead of warning. Let me also caution Honorable Martin Amawule that he went to a federal high court in Abuja, and in his statement on oath, he swore that they defected paragraph 16 of that statement of oath, which is swore on the 13th of December 2023, that he defected and moved over from PDP to APC. That thing, now that he's changing his grammar, it is lying on oath. If my chamber takes up this, if we decide to take up this, it is lying on oath, and he has 14 years imprisonment waiting for him. So they have to be careful and give themselves peace. If it is trouble they want, it may affect everybody. It is not the way to go. They really have to know that it is peace that their people need. And this issue of the local government elected officer that were removed has to go by the governor. I also think that the governor acted in a haste, because I can tell you verily, local government elections, the Supreme Court does not have jurisdiction. Anything could have brought up that issue of local governments before the Supreme Court, and then they made some, they took some positions. That does not mean they have jurisdiction. That before the state independent electoral commissions can conduct elections, they need to collect a register from INEC. Is not enough to confer jurisdiction. After all, National Assembly members or elections, House of Reps, House of Senate, it does not also get to Senate. It only stops at the House of the Court of Appeal. Local government elections, the first panel that will sit is to be chaired by a magistrate in all the states in Nigeria, chaired by a magistrate, and it's called a panel. The appeal, which is the highest appeal, is to be chaired by a judge of the State High Court. The Supreme Court does not have jurisdiction. And of course, the Supreme Court will not blame them. It is only if that attention of theirs was drawn to that. So this judgment, the CTC, needs to be gotten and then studied. And then it will not become clear those that are ratio decidendis that are supposed to be implemented and those that are obiter dictums that are not supposed to be seen as decisions of the court. It's important and imperative, therefore, that they take it easy, because the way they are going, it is wrong. Like what I said, this issue of perjury, the man that is also pursuing and making trouble, perjury is a big problem. 14 years imprisonment. It's not, no, so I urge them to take it easy. Yes, yes.
Thank you so much for the clarification, letting us know that the time limits that was placed on him representing the 2025 budget is not from the Supreme Court. But then I would like us to actually look at the Supreme Court ruling. How do you think it will affect governors in Rivers State, particularly with regards to the freezing of state funds? Also, how does the court ruling impact the balance of power between the executive and legislative branches of government in Rivers State?
Thank you very much. That is why it is important for them to know that they have not come to serve themselves, but to serve the people of Rivers State, and abandon this selfish bickering that they are embarking on. The Supreme Court had earlier before now, in the case of, I think, Adekule, said that you cannot stop local state allocations. But now there is a change in our jurisprudence. They have said that's why we need to see the CTC of that judgment and know why and how they arrived at this decision. And if you also look at it, you discover that freezing on account of a state, you will be punishing the entire people. Workers will work, they won't get paid. It is an aberration, but ordinarily, nobody will blame the Supreme Court for now, because you don't know what were presented before them. You don't know actually what they saw. That's why we're asking for the certified true copy. And again, that human beings no human being is infallible. The Supreme Court is only infallible because the Supreme Court is the last court. You will agree with me that if there was any other court ahead of the Supreme Court, some of their judgments also could still have been overturned, just like that of the Court of Appeals at times are overturned by the Supreme Court. So nobody's infallible. And that is why they really have to check it and see what they are doing. This brigandage will not help anybody. That is the truth.
Well, within all of this, what is the way forward for all of the parties for peace in this crisis?
Yes, the way forward should be that by the House of Assembly has to wait. In the first place, it even depends on what is in the CTC. That certified true copy may also give a different picture tomorrow. If it is certified and confirmed that the Matthew Mawule group is the actual group, then they have to work with the governor. Let them take it easy. It shouldn't be a battle of let us fight. They should see themselves as one family. Then elders in Rivers State should also intervene. And I think Mr. President intervened once. He could still intervene again. I read and saw on the social media where some people were saying that they were going to kind of bust the pipelines and all of that. If they do that, the revenue of Nigeria will be affected. Even if Nigerian government decides to use force by bringing soldiers, bring armed men to go and attack them, some soldiers will die, some Rivers State people will die. That is all Nigerians dying also. All of them are Nigerians. We must have to avoid all of this and make sure that we do the right thing, honestly. And that is why, of course, you see, look, I think the major problem was it depends on how these issues were presented before the court. If not, people who defected, it was there in the news, it was there everywhere, and they also went to court, Federal High Court, in a suit that they filed by himself. He's, in fact, the claimant, the Right Honorable Martin Chike Amawule, filed the suit, and in his affidavit, he said, statement on oath, he said on oath that, you know, they have defected from PDP to APC. It's here. The stamp of the Federal High Court is here. So I don't understand the kind of the country we're now running into. But like I said, it depends on what you have brought before the justices. The judges, even if somebody fights at the gate of a court, unless you come and report to the court is not obliged to begin to inquire. You know, it's only what you say before the court that will guide them. So, but whatever it is, the people of River State, whichever group, should know that they are one family and should work as a team. Harassing the governor will not take them anywhere. It will rather bring problems for River State and for the country. That is my advice.
Professor Anthony Agbazuere, human rights and constitutional lawyer, thank you so much for joining us on